Welcome to Catholic Mom Mindset, a daily show where you learn to walk closely with the Holy Spirit so you can live the life God is calling you to. I'm your host, Sterling Jaquith. Let us begin. Continuing our series on climbing the mountain, this last episode is about the practical steps that you can take to climb a mountain. And so it was great because this priest, who didn't pick the theme of the retreat, by the way, somebody else picked it, but happened to have climbed many, many mountains, including many in Europe and Switzerland. He was like a very accomplished skier, had a military background, super cool guy. And so he said, all right, these are the steps for climbing the mountain. And I wrote down before the steps, he said, pray more and receive sacraments more. Our primary vocation is to grow in holiness. So I'm not sure what he was talking about before then, but I just thought that was very important. And I saw it right now and I thought, yes, that is true, Father. Pray more and receive the sacraments more. Our primary vocation is to grow in holiness. It was cute because this retreat had a lot of women who were probably in their 60s and 70s. And he was kind of just poking them about confession. He was like, you're probably never going to see me again. And you probably haven't gone in a while. So you should really go to confession right after this today. It was just cute how he poked them, but such an honorable thing to do, right? Such a great challenge that I think I go to confession so much that I assume everyone else does. And then I'm a little surprised when someone says, I just haven't gone in a couple years. And in my mind, people at least go once a year, but often go more than that. So I would just say, if it's been more than once a year for you, go to confession. And try to go every month. The state of your soul is at stake. What else is more important? And it's annoying. Churches make it super annoying most to go to confession now. It's like always at a terrible time. And you got to drag the kids. And you got to stand in line for forever. Or game the system and get there early. Like whatever. It's not great, but it doesn't matter. I would walk on fiery coals if I had to for the sacrament of confession. Okay, that was a little bit of a detour. Step 1, make a plan. He says you can't climb a mountain without a plan. He goes, people who do that die. Nobody climbs Mount Everest. You need a plan. And I think this is a little bit what I was talking about yesterday, which is find a person who's laid out a plan. I like St. Teresa of Avila. She's a very practical saint. And I like that she had steps. She was basically like, mansion number 1, mansion number 2. This is what it looks like. This is what it does not look like. I love how she talks about people who are like fake spiritual or think that they're having great experiences with the Lord. And she's like, you're not. And here's how you can tell. And I just thought that was so great. Because aren't we always wondering? Aren't we always like, did that come from the Lord? Did that come from me? I'm not through her whole book yet. I'm sure I will talk about her more in the future. And so you want to also, part of the plan is not overwhelming yourself too much, right? So you can't go from not having scheduled prayer time to I'm going to pray on my knees at 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. But probably not that. Okay? And so having a plan and having a realistic plan. Can we start with 5 minutes a day? Can we bump it to 10? Can we do half an hour 2 times a day? So the plan is also about working yourself up and then also having some reasonable expectations, which is we're not going to jump into receiving mystical visions from Jesus level of mystical prayer, probably. I mean, he does bless some people with that, but very, very few. First, we must learn how to just not have a scattered mind for 5 whole minutes. For most of us, that's big. And then if you are distracted, then what are you going to do? One thing he mentioned was if you get distracted, just sitting there and thinking, he goes, move to vocal prayer. Sing a song. Pray the rosary. And so there are ways to make an overall plan for your prayer life, and then also make a plan for what you are going to pray about. And I thought this was interesting, and I hadn't heard it before. He was saying, don't just show up and start praying. He said earlier in the day, you should have a plan. Like, I'm going to pray 1 rosary. I'm going to read 10 pages of this book. I'm going to then make a list of 10 things that that are blessings to give praise and thanksgiving to God for. And then I'm going to do an examination of conscience. And he said it didn't matter what the plan was, but to have a plan. And as he said that, I was struck with the power and the truth of it. And that's exactly how we teach women how to lose weight. And I just kind of chuckled, like, how many times have I said you've got to plan your food? Like, why would you not plan your food? I mean, first of all, love to all of us who don't want to plan our food. I completely understand why. But if it's important and you want to lose weight, you got to plan your food. And I just thought, oh, that makes so much sense that this would be true for prayer as well. And that we would lay it out. So at the end, he was like, don't wing it. I thought that was so great. Don't wing your prayer life. Okay. Wow. That was just step 1. I'm going to continue step 2 in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening, and have a blessed day. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Catholic Mom Mindset. To learn more about growing closer to the Holy Spirit, check out our free resources at madeforgreatness.co. Thank you so much for listening, and have a blessed day.